Have you ever noticed that church leaders are often the ones who are there for everyone else? But let me ask you this question. When was the last time you checked in on your church leader? Your church leader is the one that supports and carries the weight of their congregation's emotional and spiritual burden. This is Mindful Faith Moments, and I'm your host, Jason Henry-Ruhl. Let's dive in. Church leaders are some of the most resilient, compassionate, and dedicated people in our communities, but they often face immense pressure. They are expected to provide spiritual guidance, listen to and solve personal issues, and be available at all hours. But who listens to their struggles? Who helps them through their emotional and their mental health challenges? It's easy to forget that pastors, ministers, and church leaders, they're human too. They have their own set of emotions, they have their own stressors, and they have their own doubts, and they have their own challenges. Supporting mental health in church leaders is something we need to address more openly. We need to create safe spaces for them to share their struggles without fear or judgment. Oftentimes, church leaders feel like they can't show any signs of weakness or any signs of vulnerability because they're seen as the ones who are supposed to, quote unquote, have it all together. But the truth is, no one has it all together, and that's okay. So what are some practical ways that we can support our church leaders? One, I think we can encourage them to take rests and take sabbaticals. Rest is not a luxury, it is a necessity. Just as Jesus took time away from the crowds to pray and rest, church leaders need to be encouraged to take breaks, and they need to recharge both spiritually and mentally. Another way that we can encourage them is by creating support networks for church leaders. Church leaders need a community where they can be honest and transparent about their struggles. This can be a peer group, maybe it's other church leaders, it can be counselors, it can even be members of their own congregation who are willing to listen and support them without expecting anything in return. Another way that we can help support them, we can promote counseling and mental health through resources. Sometimes just praying doesn't necessarily feel like enough. Church leaders need access to professional mental health support, whether it's counseling or therapy. That way they can process their stress and their emotional burdens. We can help them by normalizing seeking professional help and making sure that those resources that are at our fingertips, we make sure that they're available to them. And then finally, I think we can help break the stigma. It's important to break the stigma around mental health within church because church leaders should not feel like they're failing spiritually just because they're struggling emotionally or with their mental health. By opening up conversations about mental health and modeling vulnerability with them, we allow them to be human, and then they get the help that they need. Supporting mental health in church, specifically in church leaders, is not just a nice idea. In my opinion, it's an essential necessity for the health of the entire church community. When our leaders are emotionally and mentally healthy, they are better equipped to lead with wisdom, with compassion, and with authenticity. Let's be proactive in providing the support they need, so they can continue doing the work they've been called to do. So how can you start supporting your church leaders today? Maybe it's as simple as sending them a message, texting them quick, or a message through a note or something like that, and just checking in on them or encouraging them to take a day off. Maybe perhaps it's advocating for mental health resources within your church. Whatever it is, know that your support matters more than you realize. And don't forget, at Mindful Faith Ministries, we are passionate about embracing mental health with grace and understanding. If you're looking for resources to support your mental health and mental wellness journey, or if you just want to learn how to better address these issues within your community, we are here to help. Check out our devotionals, our workshops, speaking engagements, online courses, and blog articles. They are all designed to integrate faith and mental health in practical, life-changing ways. Visit our website at mindfulfaithministries.com to learn more. And remember, you are never alone in this journey. Let's walk it together. Thanks for joining me today on Mindful Faith Moments. If you have found this episode helpful, be sure to subscribe and share it with someone who might need to hear this message. Until next time, take care of your mind, your soul, and your faith.